Okay, everybody, this is the next session in the money workshop, and we hope you're all enjoying it. It would be really helpful if more people came, because we'd have more people to work on more issues and collectively help everybody in terms of bringing in abundance of money into our lives. But in the meantime, we're doing a great job here. So anyone have anything specific they want to work on? Or should I bring something in?
I was gonna let Ori have a turn since I did it all last time.
You have anything, Maria?
Feeling that money runs through my fingers with no control.
Okay.
That
and how do you know that?
More that I have to spend on necessary things than I earn for the moment.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you sure that all those things that you spend, that they're necessary?
I think I could have cut a few, but the rest are really, really necessary. Like it's
okay.
on a car and on food and day-to-day things that I must, gas and everything. But it's
okay, but I'm going to go on two levels. First level, we're just going to see how many of those things are actually necessary, not necessary, through some examples. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to tap on this feeling that money just runs through our hands more than we actually bring in. I can tell you that 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I was married, and my husband was extremely, extremely money conscious. And he kept worrying that he was going to lose his job any day. And he had me, and I'm not saying to go to these lengths by any standards, but I was making my own bread. I was making my own breakfast cereal. I was making my own yogurt. Anything I can make by myself, he had me make by myself. Anything I couldn't make by myself, he had me look up and find out how I could make it by myself. My friends would tell me things that they were on their shopping list, and I'd say, oh, that looks cool. He goes, nah, it's not on your budget. Like they already knew what my budget was. Nothing. It was zero. Zero was my budget. So it was obviously not going to be on my budget. On the other hand, a few years later, when their financial situation did not necessarily come up to the same status that they had like the 5 years earlier, they were suddenly coming up to me and saying, so wait a second, how did you do this? Wait a second, how did you make that? Wait, how did you, what did you buy instead of this? All right. People have certain standards, and I have no problem with their standards if it works for them. But let's say I have friends who buy American breakfast cereals. American breakfast cereals here in Israel, Mary, in case you didn't know, are pretty expensive as compared to Israeli breakfast cereals. Could be that they're better tasting. I have no doubt about it. I thought they were better tasting too, so I just didn't buy any breakfast cereal. I just had oatmeal in the morning. You buy those simple oats, which are really cheap, and you add, some flavoring and some hot water, and you have hot oatmeal. My kids actually today prefer the granola that I make with oats, sugar, chocolate chips, and cinnamon over any of the granolas that you buy in the store. And we were just commenting the other day, which I thought was really funny, that oats is the largest substance that we consume in our house. So the idea that we're buying things that we need, sometimes the definition of need can be changed. And I'm not saying that you have to change it. I'm not saying that you have to deny yourself things. All I'm saying is that sometimes when I go to the supermarket and I see something that I really want, I make a thought to myself, do I really, do I need this, or is it just that I want this? And can I afford this? So I'll sometimes take things into my cart. I'll go to the checkout. If I see I get over a certain amount of money, I take those things out of the cart. I just don't buy them. If I'm under the amount of money that I allotted for myself to use for groceries, then maybe I'll allow one or two of those things in if I can fit it within that amount of money. Okay? That's just a little side note. I also know people who have gone, let's say, on trips. They went to trips abroad. And I asked them how they managed to do it, how they would money-wise. They were like, well, I have a certain budget, and come what may, I don't go over that budget. That's it. If I don't eat for a day, I don't eat for a day. If I end up, sleeping in a, how do you say, less good hotel or motel, whatever it is, I sleep in a less good hotel, motel, whatever it is. I don't allow myself to go over that budget. Right? It takes a lot of self-restraint on that side. And it also makes you think, in general, whether something's necessary or not. I would say there's certain basic things like fruits and vegetables, milk, bread, which are, if you eat bread, I know you don't eat bread anymore, Ria, so we'll skip that one. But there's certain basics that are...
I make my own almond milk. I don't buy
I make my own almond milk also. Now that I have my Monster Vitamix, it makes great almond milk. Any case, that's what my point is. If you go to a supermarket and you look through the things that you buy, those are like necessities, sometimes you can see where you can cut down. And I wouldn't cut down on fruits and vegetables. Maybe I wouldn't buy the fruit that's not in season that costs 5 times as much as the fruit that is in season. But, and buying it once in a while for a treat is also fine. Just be conscious of the things that you buy. And then also be conscious. I know that I go through my house at least 5 times a day and I turn off lights. There's nobody in the room. People just left the lights on because they don't think about it. And I go around turning off lights. All those little things add up, right? Same thing with heaters. Now it's the winter season. It's cold. In the summer, it's, the hot season. It's really, really hot. So I have to go around and I turn off the air conditioner, I turned off the heater, turn off the air conditioner, turn off the heater. Electricity is expensive. Nothing to do about it. If you're not conscious of these things add up very, very quickly.
Right.
And the same goes for car expenses and gas. I buy gas too. I drive once a week to go visit my parents. I take them shopping. It's big trips. Those are things that are necessities that I feel like I need to do because I need to do it for my parents. But inside Rehovot, where I live, if I can walk to the store, I'll never take the car. Because every time you take the car, it's more gas. Simple as that. When you become conscious of these things, you can very often see places where you can cut, where you can save, and you say, oh, but it's only 5 cents here, it's only 10 cents here. All those 5 and 10 cents add up very quickly. Quicker than we'd like to think about.
Right.
So that's number 1 thing. Number 2 thing is every time I get small change, I still have my money magnet jar. It's amazing how much money adds up from all that small change that you put in there. All right. So number 1, become conscious of where your money's actually going. And sometimes when you write everything down, you suddenly realize. And I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't buy something. I'm just saying be conscious of it. Don't be an unconscious buyer. Where you go to the store and you say, oh, that looks nice, I'll take it. And then you go home and you say, where'd all the money go? Right? Be a conscious buyer. So when you write the things down and you have it on a list, and for some people that works, some people doesn't work, but I think you become more conscious of your spending, more conscious of what things you actually really did need, what things you didn't need. Number 3 thing over here, I think it's number 3 or number 4, can't remember anymore, doesn't make a difference. My father taught me when you find things on sale, buy them in quantity, because when you need them, you're going to have to get them for more money. What I found is that sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't.
If you're talking about clothes, so we have an outlet that they sell all the clothes that were like 2 years ago, in the top fashion,
right?
that now nobody wants anymore. They sell it sometimes for 10, some for $12.
Right.
Things that used to cost $70 or $80 or 60, like
Right.
they sell it in a really low price that is really affordable. But
Mm-hmm.
then, how many clothes do you need? You don't have to.
You're right.
It became. We just went Saturday night to this outlet. It was like clothes are really like became like garbage. You're
Disposable.
disposable and very accessible.
Yeah.
Like whatever you need, you can buy whenever you want in a very low price. Like
Right.
you don't have to run to the sale whenever
Right.
they do it. So
Absolutely.
it's a kind of abundance awareness. Like don't have to buy now everything if I don't really need it now. Like whenever
Exactly.
I will have it because it's cheap anyway. And
Exactly.
try.
And Mary, you also had the experience of going to the Goodwill and finding really amazing buys like presents for Christmas for your nieces and nephews, which had you bought it in the store could have cost hundreds of dollars, but here you got it for almost nothing. And
Yeah.
Right,
in any case, they just pass it on too afterwards. So
Hmm.
what's the point of spending full money for it?
right,
So, right. But I'm saying that even in terms of, food products and toiletry products, when you buy, I don't know, 15 bottles of dishwashing liquid, where do you store it? Because they happen to be on sale for, 10 shekel, which is, equivalent to like $2.50 instead of the normal $10. But it takes you 3 months to use each bottle. So where do you store those other 10 bottles for that time? And do you remember where you store them when you need it again? And it comes out that often I find if I just buy what I need, I end up spending less, even if I'm paying full money, than if I buy because it's on sale and I might need it in 10 years from now.
right.
I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you understand what I'm saying. So if you just buy the things that you need that are on your list, you'll often be spending less per month than if you start stocking up on all the sales.
Right.
So it's a certain mentality which the stores are trying to put into you of a sale mentality. Oh, it's on sale, stock up now.
It's
Where they,
not
of
not
course,
just a sale. It's scarcity
right.
mentality.
Yeah, yeah. The
They
scarcity mentality.
especially now when I learn marketing, they
Mm-hmm.
teach you to create scarcity.
Right,
That every offer that you offer is for a limited time or for a limited people or for the only first 10 people who register or
right,
whatever. So
right, 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 right.
you create scarcity while there isn't, and
Exactly.
I've heard lately somebody from Mind Valley were talking about the awareness of scarcity versus the awareness of abundance. He said,
Mm-hmm.
um, when the 80s and 90s were when you went to buy a CD in the store,
Mm-hmm.
once you there was one less in the store, and they would have to print one more, right? But
Right,
now, when you can buy an MP3, which is a digital file, every time you buy, there is actually one more, not one less, right? There is
well,
one copy of a digital file.
right. And I find it extremely funny when people are selling digital files and say only while supplies last.
Right. It's really a scarcity awareness, like that. You know that
Right.
we're surrounded by marketers who are trying to sell everything.
And not only that, but they put things in ways like they put in supermarkets, the lower costing products they put on the lower shelves, and the higher costing products they put on the higher shelves, which are on eye level. So people don't even see the lower costing because most people don't bother looking down. They just look straight ahead at what they see in front of them. Or they'll put certain products that cost more money in the front of the stores where people, next to the cash register. Did you ever see, like, you go to the cash register and the kids are like screaming because there's the chocolate bars there. Mommy, please buy me this chocolate bar. Please buy me. Why do you think they put it over there? There's a reason for it, because you're waiting online and the kids are getting antsy and you don't want the kids to be antsy and start screaming. So say, here, take a chocolate bar, or they're crying for the chocolate bar. There's reason for all those things.
Yeah, they call it the wall of power. The wall of power, while you coming near to the cashier,
Yeah,
they put walls of products that are very easy to consume, as small,
right,
and while you're in the process of paying, it's easier for you to take one more thing to the cart and pay for
right,
more. You're getting into the momentum of buying. It's easier to buy,
exactly.
put
It's like,
more things.
it's the yes set. Yes to this, yes to this, yes to this, yes to one more thing.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
again,
they
it's
call
adding
it
the yes set.
the power wall, where people are buying more in
So basically, the point I'm trying to make over here, which I think you've got, is that many of the things that we look at as necessities, if we really look at them, they're not always necessities. And if we really look at them, we can often find a cheaper version that would save us money. We don't have to get the version that we were buying till now. Or sometimes it's fairly easy to make your own version.
right.
So, and I would say that I know that when I was little, I was very spoiled. I was like, no, mommy, I want this brand. I want that brand. Today, it's like, this is the cheapest brand. This is what I'm buying. And my kids
Right.
complain, but that brand's better. I go, well, do you want to pay the difference? No. All right, then we're sticking with this brand. I have no compunctions about that at this point. And bottom line is that if you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. If you don't want it, don't have it. And I'll stop buying it, period, which is no problem for me. It'll be less money for me to have to, put out. But when you become conscious of the things that you buy, you often see that many of the things that you buy are not necessarily things that you need. I know last year, my daughter was in Jerusalem, and I would go visit with her once a week. And the thing that we usually did, there was this big street with, shopping center, which is an outlet center. And that's what we did. We'd go shopping in the shopping center. We'd go from store to store to store to store to store. I realized, wow, I spent so much more money last year shopping than I do this year. This year, she's in England for the year. So I'm not mean with her. I'm not going out shopping with her. Saving so much money. And I love my daughter and I love to go shopping with her. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was more just spending the money. And it wasn't even spending the money. My other daughter said to me, you have to get out of this idea of buying cheap clothes just because they're cheap. It's better to buy one expensive clothes that you're really going to wear all the time than to buy 15 really cheap clothes that you're never going to wear that you're going to end up just throwing out. So there's definitely a truth to that, because I think that lots of people buy clothes because they're cheap. Is it, oh, this costs nothing, I'll take this, maybe I'll wear this. This costs nothing, maybe I'll wear this. And then they come home and it just sits in their closet. And after a year of sitting in the closet, goes, I'm never going to wear this. And they throw it out. And even if it was just $2 or $5, all those $2 and $5 add up. So faster than you can imagine. Okay, that's the first half of the work. Now let's go to the second half of the work, where you feel that money's going through your fingers. Where do you feel it?
Where do you feel it in the body?
Mm-hmm.
I feel it in my chest.
Okay. What's the color?
Red,
What color would you want it to be?
white.
Go ahead, breathe in that white. Keep breathing it in till there's no red left, till it's all white. No, we're not pulling it out. If you want to, we can. You want to pull it out? We can do that. Go ahead.
It's
Let's pull it out. Let's pull it out. Okay. Okay, wait for Mary to finish. Okay, notice what color it is now.
Green.
Notice as it spins to it, which way is it spinning? Take it by the two sides, make it be the opposite of what it was in every possible way, spinning it faster and faster, doubling the speed, doubling the amplitude, doubling the magnitude, doubling the frequency, keep doubling it over and over again. So you know can never go back to its fork and get bigger and better ways now, so you know you got it. For all the right reasons, we know you got it, just slam it right back into where you took it out from. Any sensations, any feelings you might be feeling are your body's way of letting go of the old, allowing the new. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to change it. Just let your body process through. And when you got it for all the right reasons, try to bring it back. See what happens instead. Okay, what does it feel like now?
There's still a pain in the chest.
Okay, how do you know?
Feel it?
What does it feel like? Is it a pressure? Is it a stabbing? Is it a squeezing?
And a pressure.
Pressure. Okay, 0 to 10. How strong is it?
5.
Okay, start tapping. This pressure in my chest.
Pressure in my chest.
However I know it.
Right now.
However I feel it. Whatever it means. Whatever it represents. All the sensations. All the colors. All the images. All the proofs. All the memories. All the lacks. I let it go. From whichever life they came from. Whoever gave them to me.
Whoever gave them to me.
I release them. I give them back. And I let them go. Safe to let them go. Time to let them go. Time to heal. I let them go now. I'm safe. Grab your wrist. Breathe in. Blow out. Your safe place. A place where you feel utterly, completely, and totally safe, secure, and loved. And say peace.
Peace.
Okay. Go back. What's changed about that feeling?
Much less pressure. Like if it was 5, now it's 1.
Okay, feel the 1. Notice how you feel it, how strong you feel it. And let it go.
Let it go.
Safe to let it go.
Let it go.
It's time to let it go.
Let it go.
It's safe to keep money. Safe to have money. Safe to use money. But it's also safe to keep money. Safe to keep it for the future. Safe to keep it for things that I really want. I let everything else go.
I'll everything else go.
I'm safe. Grab your wrist. Breathe in. Blow out. How's it now?
Gone.
Okay, good. Think about money going through your fingers. How does that feel now?
Still going, but still coming as well.
Okay, what I want you now is think about the idea of having money in the bank, having extra money in the bank. And as you think about the idea of having extra money in your bank, look at your dial, which says, I deserve to have money sitting in the bank. 0 to 10. 10 means I totally deserve it. I can have lots of money sitting in the bank. 0 means don't deserve it at all. Don't deserve to have that money. Where's your dial lay?
Around 4.
Okay, reach out and touch it. Notice where you feel it inside. Point to where you feel it inside. Turn the dial up. Notice the shifts and changes that occur inside as you do. What's going on?
I can twist it to like 6.
Okay, where do you feel it when you get to the 6?
In the same point here, it's just.
Okay, notice the color attached.
Okay.
Pull it out. Pull it all out, every last drop. Don't let any of it stay behind. Okay, you got it all?
Yes.
Notice the color now.
Green again.
Notice it has a spin to it. Which way is it spinning?
This way.
Take it by the 2 sides, make it the opposite of what it was in every possible way. Spinning it faster and faster, doubling the speed, doubling the amplitude, doubling the magnitude, doubling the frequency. Keep doubling it over and over again. So you know it can never go back to before, going bigger and better ways now. And when you know that you got it for all the right reasons, slam it right back in, shock your system as you do. Any sensations, any things like feeling like your body's way of letting go of the old, allowing the new. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to change it. So your body presses through. And when you got it for all the right reasons, try to bring it back. See what happens instead.
I think it feels better.
Okay, look at your dial. Deserving to have money.
I can tweak it to 9 now.
Okay, what do you feel when you get to a 9?
I don't feel anything.
Can we go to a 10?
Yes.
Okay, now try turning it down. See what happens instead.
I go between 9 and 10. It stays
Okay.
that.
Keep turning it back and forth until it stays at the 10. You can't turn it back down anymore. Okay. The 10. Okay. What is the feeling that you get when you go out and you use the money and buy it? Buy things. We're not talking about the necessities. We're talking about the extras.
It's mixed.
Hmm?
Makes me feel good.
What's the emotion?
Sometimes I feel I really deserve it, and for things I've been waiting a few months to buy, and
Okay.
sometimes I feel guilt.
Okay, well, let's ask you this. What's the emotion that you have when you have money sitting in the bank?
Feel good, like feels like peace. Feels like um, confident. Feel like secure.
Okay. Which do you value more? Peace, confident, secure, or the having the things in the bank, in the buying the things that you feel you deserve?
I think the secure.
The secure.
Yeah,
And what about the guilt? Do you think you deserve to feel guilty? That you should feel guilty?
I don't.
Okay. We have to search deeper into the values over here, because if you value security more than you value having the things that you think you deserve, then you wouldn't be spending the money that you didn't have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what it is that you're valuing more than the security.
Mm.
What else does buying those things give you?
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. Because once we have what it is, we can transfer it over using submodalities.
Mm.
But you have to first know what it is that you're valuing more than the security. It could be the sense of adventure, could be the sense of, I don't know, owning things that you always wanted to when you were younger and you couldn't. It could, there could be a lot of things involved over here. But you have to know what those things are in order to be able to transfer it over.
I think things that I couldn't afford when I was very young
Mm-hmm.
are are things that are coming up.
Okay. Because I can tell you that when I was married, my husband at the time was very, as we already know, financially conscious, and in a bad way, I would say. And, my running joke was that my sister had the husband who would come with her to the shop, sit outside, wait for her to try things on, and he would tell her, "Oh, you look beautiful." My brother was the type who would give his wife the credit card and say, "Go buy yourself whatever you need. You haven't bought yourself stuff in a long time." And I would come to my husband and say, can I have money to buy a skirt? And he'd say, did you buy one 7 years ago? Throw out the one that you have over there, and then you can buy another one. So there was definitely a period of time when I started earning money and I started being able to, allow myself a bit more, where I went a little bit crazy. It was like, oh, I can buy this. I can buy this. I don't have to ask anybody. I can buy this. Until I had to put a stop to myself and saying, if I buy too much of this, firstly, I don't need it. Secondly, I'll be spending more than I actually have. And I don't want to be doing that either. But there was a period of time where I went overboard on the other side. It was that freedom, I think. So what you're actually talking about is, buying things that you couldn't afford when you were younger. That's an element of freedom, right?
Mm.
Freedom to do what you want to do. So when you think about the freedom, what do you feel in your body?
More or less the same places.
Same places. Okay. Pull it out. Pull it all out. Okay. Notice all its attributes, what the color is, what the size is, what the shape is, what the texture is, what the spin is. Notice all the different attributes about it.
Okay.
And now put it aside. And now feel where you feel security in your body. When you think about security, having financial security.
Okay.
Point to it and pull it out. Pull it all out.
Right.
Okay. Notice all its attributes. The shape, the size, the color, the texture, the temperature.
Okay.
And now notice how it's different from the freedom, and make it be just like the freedom, only a little bit stronger. Because the freedom is an important attribute, but we want the security to be a little bit higher so that you'll still be able to have the money in the bank.
Okay. Well, I was kind of working on lack of freedom, where I feel the lack of freedom.
I wouldn't say the lack of freedom. I would say security is not a lack of freedom. Security is a feeling that you
Now,
have something in the
now I
bank.
work with security, but before I thought you were saying where do you feel the freedom, but I was referring to where I feel the lack of freedom.
I see. Okay. Okay. So now go to the freedom.
Okay.
The freedom to spend, the freedom to buy whatever you want.
It's kind of likewise, you know.
There are a lot of similarities to it, but your desire for the freedom to buy what you want is stronger than your feeling for the security of having it in the bank. Because if it wasn't stronger, you wouldn't be spending more than you have. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be a mixture of the freedom together with some sort of adventure to it.
Mm.
There might be other attributes that, you would add on to that freedom. But if you put all those conglomerates together, they are obviously stronger than your need for security. Because if it wasn't stronger, then you wouldn't be spending more than you actually have. You understand?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is think about that and then put the security in the place of where the freedom is. And the freedom is an important attribute. I'm not trying to take that away from you.
Of course.
I'm trying to make the security be one notch higher so that you don't spend more than what you actually need. Than that need that you have. You don't spend more than you have.
Yeah.
That's correction.
Yeah.
You understand? Because people have a greater need for freedom of spending and adventure, will have less problem going into overdraft, meaning spending more than they actually have.
Mm.
People who have a greater sense that they need the security of having money in the bank just in case are going to spend less money than they have, less money than they actually have. So they always make sure that they have some sort of cushion over there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So think about it, and we'll work on it next week. Okay.
All
Think
right.
about what are the emotions that come up when you think about the freedom, what's important to you about it, and then where you store it, how you store it, what are its attributes. And then we can change it so that we bring security on a notch higher than those. Okay?
Okay, very well.
Okay. Mary, you still with us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, because you kind of disappeared. Beforehand, we had two of you, which was cool. How you have none of you?
I can't see you guys now. I can just hear you. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I think that we will end with our, how do you say, the declarations. So let me just go over here, find the declarations. I actually put them into the file, so I'll have them ready when I need it. Hold on. That's actual HD. HD. Desktop. Shop. Where's the money workshop? Where did it go now? I know I put it in here. That's not fair. Here we go. Okay, got it. And here we go. Well, you can come up. You can come up. Okay. My inner world creates my outer world.
My inner world creates my outer world.
What I heard about money
What I heard about money
isn't necessarily true.
isn't necessarily true.
I choose to adopt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success.
I
Just to have new ways of thinking that support happiness and success.
What I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way.
What I
What I
modeled
modeled around money was their way. I choose mine.
I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past.
I release my
I
non-supportive
release my unsupportive experiences of money from the past.
And create new and rich future.
and create
To
new.
create new and rich future.
I observe my thoughts and entertain only those that empower me.
I observe my thoughts.
Goodness, thoughts, and entertain all things which are empowering me.
I create the exact level of my financial success.
I create the exact level of
my financial success.
My goal is to become a millionaire and more.
goal is to become a millionaire and more.
I commit to being rich.
I commit to being
Being rich.
I think big. I choose to help thousands and thousands of people.
I
think big.
I choose to help thousands and thousands of people.
I promote my value to others with passion and enthusiasm.
I promote my value to others
with passion and enthusiasm.
I am an excellent receiver. I am open and willing to receive massive amounts of money into my life.
I'm an excellent receiver. I'm open, willing to accept massive amounts of money.
I choose to get paid based on my results.
I choose to get based on my
results.
I always think both, or I always think all.
I always think
Always think all.
I
focus on building my net worth.
I focus on
building my network.
I am an excellent money manager.
I'm an excellent money manager.
My money works hard for me and makes me more and more money.
My
money works hard for me and makes me more
money.
I am committed to constantly learning and growing.
I'm committed to constantly learning.
and growing.
I have a millionaire mind.
I have a millionaire mind.
Okay, see y'all next week.
Thank you very much.
And anybody else who happens to be watching these videos, we'd really appreciate if you came and join us. The more people that work together, the more exponentially powerful the work is. So please join us and see you all next week.